Changed my mind, it's cold.
It's fresh.
Overrated.
What? You need to go out.
I don't want to go out. Stop it! Before I get one of my dizzy spells.
Oh, how convenient!
You would never have done this to your mother.
She wouldn't want you to sit indoors all day.
That's emotional blackmail.
If that's what it takes. Come on, we can feed the ducks.
Good morning.
I brought you fruit, and lots of it. They never give you near enough fruit in hospital. Or any fruit bowls, for that matter. For anyone to ask. Never mind. You were in a grumpy mood yesterday.
It wasn't a mood.
I know that things are difficult, but you really mustn't dwell on things. You've got to stay positive. Have a banana.
I don't want it.
You used to come here with your mum when we were kids. A long time ago. It all seems smaller now.
Yeah. Actually, Annie, I didn't bring you here just for the fresh air.
You think he's all right? We should call an ambulance.
No, I'm fine.
You are not.
What do you want me to do?
Not like this.
You should see a doctor. You should take him to see Dr. Tyler. It's not that far. I'm perfectly capable of feeding the ducks without getting into trouble.
OK, I won't be long.
Just go, or the poor man will be dead before you get him there.
Mrs. Tenby.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Bellamy.
You distracted?
I was thinking about the Reverend. It was confirmed yesterday. He will be leaving with immediate effect.
Oh, who's leaving?
The vicar.
Oh. Thought you had some juicy gossip then, Mrs. Tembe.
This is not gossip. This is very serious, Nurse Marquez. The Reverend will leave her aching void in the community.
Well, never mind. You'll get another one in soon. Oh, hey, you might get a woman in.
Well, I hope and pray that the man or woman who steps into our pulpit is a person of moderation. It would not be good to have a vicar with little understanding of a town parish such as us.
Well, you might have to take what you can get. A lot of churches have to share their vicars these days. That's if they can get one.
Is it... Do you think you're depressed?
I'm not depressed. I lie here. I look at the ceiling, and I know this is not what I want.
But once we get you home...
Just another ceiling. It's gonna get worse, Em. What if I can't speak? What if I have another stroke, and I wake up, and I can't even speak? I want a note put in my medical records.
No.
I want a DNR.
No, absolutely not. I'm not even going to discuss it.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Gentleman over there, bit of an asthma attack, I think. He was in the park.
I'm fine, really. I just need a new inhaler.
My aunt insisted I bring him here.
Very sensible woman. Why don't you come straight through?
Is he registered with us?
Sort it out later.
Well, at least we need the gentleman's name. Dr. Tyler.
It's Wilkins. Trevor Wilkins.
Come in, Mrs. Tenby.
Mr. Bellamy, your observation this morning was, well, most disquieting.
And what observation was that?
Reverend Stanhope.
Ah, yes, don't worry about that. I'm sure you'll cope.
Cope?
Without a vicar. I mean, what do vicars really do? A few sermons, visit the sick and needy. I'm sure you'll be able to draw up a schedule, Mrs. Tenby. You'll take to preaching like a duck to water.
Mr. Bellamy.
Mind you probably have to outsource weddings and baptisms. Could do funerals. Anyone could do funerals.
Mr. Bellamy, please.
Sorry.
No, vicar is at the very heart of a community. He is a man or indeed a woman of conviction and of action.
Indeed.
A source of wisdom, benevolence, compassion and of joy. He is a champion of the sick and the needy. The very thought of a parish without a vicar, our parish without a vicar.
Well, I'm sure it won't come to that. Plenty of vicars out there.
Really?
Absolutely.
But where would one go to find someone who is suitable for our congregation?
Comparacurate.com?
Mr. Bellamy, please.
Well, my point is that hiring a vicar can't be any harder than finding a doctor for this place. Draw up a job description and a salary range. Advertise, shortlist, interview.
You do not hire a vicar. It is not a job, it is a vocation.
Well, maybe you'll just have to wait till somebody gets the call.
But what if no one comes forward? How will our parish cope?
That's better.
So you're not local then?
Well, yes and no. Leatherbridge born and bred, but I've seen a bit of the world.
So who's treating you for your asthma now?
My GP, back in Wagga Wagga, Australia.
All right.
He's a good man.
Okay, but you should register here if you're staying.
That woman who brought me here,
Bit young for you.
she's got an aunt.
Ah,
Annie Whitchurch.
that's Annie's niece. Yeah, I can see the resemblance.
Very attractive woman.
Very.
Bit old for you. Annie.
All right. No, actually, we shouldn't be having this conversation.
What, patient confidentiality?
That's right.
So she is a patient of yours.
That's cheating.
All's fair in love and war.
I fed the ducks. Got bored waiting. How is he?
The doctor's seeing him now. We should get going.
We've seen him this far. The least we can do is see if he needs a lift home.
I think he's a bit embarrassed.
Oh, nonsense.
Mr. Wilkins, your registration form. Mrs. Tembe speaking, the Mill Health Center. How can I help you?
Trevor?
Annie.
Dizzy?
Catcher! What?
Hey.
How you feeling? Right, we need to talk about getting you a new GP. I've been chatting to Dr. Worthington this morning, but you're having a bit of support when you get home. And the guy's completely useless, Dad. He is a waste of space.
Chris.
No, we need to switch you to one of the GPs at the mill.
Whatever. Whatever you think's best.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm just really, really, really tired.
Okay.
Mrs. Land, thank you for agreeing to see me at such short notice.
I brought sandwiches.
Oh, excellent.
Most serious business.
Are you aware of the reason behind Reverend Stanhope's unfortunate decision?
It's my understanding that he's kept his motivations entirely to himself.
Well, I am surprised he did not confide in one or maybe two of the most senior members of the congregation. But he is a very wise man.
A very wise man.
I'm sure he has his reasons. Puzzling, though they may be. Now, I'm afraid I have had a rather disturbing communication.
Oh dear, not more bad news.
It has been brought to my attention that a replacement for Reverend Stanhope is not a foregone conclusion.
You can't have a church without a vicar.
My thoughts entirely.
Well, what should we do?
Well, it is in God's hands now, Mrs. Land. He will provide.
You had us all scared there for a moment, Annie. What was all that about?
Is there a back entrance to this building?
Well, you seem to think the world of you.
Is there a back entrance?
Yeah, there's a door that leads onto the terrace. How's the dizziness?
It's fine. I need to leave through the back door.
Okay, I'm sure we can do that, but you haven't been to see me about your diabetes for a while now, so why don't we just take a moment to...
This one?
No, that's a fire exit. I'd like to take some blood samples before you leave. Annie?
You didn't tell her I'd be in the park.
I wanted it to be a surprise. A nice surprise. An old friend she hadn't seen for...
50 years. Fire alarm, do you think?
All right, everybody out, please.
Annie?
Quick as you can. Thank you. Keep moving.
My aunt.
She's fine. There's no fire. She went through the other door. It's all just a misunderstanding. Ah, there she is.
Annie Whitchurch.
You've got some cheek. You broke her mother's heart.
Whoa, he's not yet.
Don't be daft.
She was a little girl. Your little sister, she was always in the way.
She loved you.
And what was I supposed to do about that?
You should have loved her like I loved her.
Okay, false alarm, everyone. Everyone back inside.
This isn't going entirely to plan.
There was a plan?
My little Annie was always you.
Go away.
Always.
Okay, that's enough, I think. Trevor, why don't you come with me? We'll give these ladies some space, yeah?
He's amazing, you know that?
He looks so tired.
No. He's strong. Very strong. Look, I know at times it feels like he's keeping his distance, but he's just trying to protect you and me. He doesn't want to feel like he's a burden.
He's not.
Oh, I know that. But he doesn't. So, we need to make him understand that no matter how upset he gets, how angry or frustrated, we can't let it change anything. We just need to get him home. Everything will be fine once we get him home.
Annie Whitchurch is a calm, rational woman who wouldn't hurt a fly.
She's wonderful.
So what is she doing, treating you like a punchbag? Are you stalking her? Do I need to call the police?
No, there's no need. Clearly this was all a big mistake. Probably the second biggest mistake of my life. I should never have come back.
Well, hang on a minute. You've come all the way from Australia just to see her.
12,000 miles. In 50 years.
And now what? You're just going to turn around and go back again?
She's still a fine-looking woman.
Especially when she's angry.
We parted on awkward terms.
In 1963.
April the 13th.
And this has been brewing ever since.
So it seems.
I'm sorry.
Nothing to be sorry about.
When Mum died, I put a notice in the newspaper. The Gazette has an e-edition these days. Anyone from anywhere around the world can catch up on local gossip and the obituaries. Trevor got in touch. He told me that he knew you both from the old days and asked me to pass on his commiserations and regards. And we got chatting by email. He said he was thinking of coming over.
You arranged it all.
You've been so down. I thought it would be a nice surprise, meeting an old friend, chatting about Mum and the old days.
It was a lovely idea. Just the wrong man.
Why? His emails were lovely.
That's the problem with the internet. You can't tell what they're really like.
And Mum? What was all that about Mum?
Ancient history, that's what it was. And he deserved everything he got. I should have flattened him. Now, 16 across. What do you think?
Not good enough.
Sergeant Hollins. Mrs. Hollins is not here.
Right, campus.
She did not tell you, huh?
No, she didn't, but she did say that you had a problem with a vicar.
I am sadly disappointed at the volume of gossip that circulates in this surgery.
That's what she said, actually, only not in so many words. But then she did say that you did have a vicar problem.
Yeah, but I do not have a vicar problem.
That's what I said. I said Mrs. Tenby wouldn't have a problem with the vicar, but she did insist that you were one short of a sermon. And I happen to know a very nice vicar who's looking for a change of scenery.
Sergeant Hollins, perhaps you would like to try a cup of my red bush.
Are you sure?
What's in the box?
Memories. You know the story of Pandora. I can't put the memories back once it's opened. Some of them will upset you.
I'm a big girl now. Open the box.
Wow. Me and your mother. And Trevor Wilkins. He lived 2 doors down, John and Becky's house. We grew up together, always playing in the garden. Out front, down the wreck. We'd play weddings. It was always me and Trevor getting married because I was the oldest. And Susie was always the bridesmaid.
And?
We grew up. Oh, there's your mother when she was younger.
She was beautiful.
Susie was always beautiful. She could have had any boy she wanted, but she wanted Trevor. I'm sorry.
What for?
She did love your dad, I think. But that was years after. Trevor was the love of her life. Her one true love. I don't think she ever got over what he did.
Which was?
He asked me to marry him. He was going off abroad somewhere, some big adventure, copper mining in Peru or something. He came round here the day before. Susie was already in tears, very emotional. And he said he had something to say before he left. He wanted me to wait for him.
You turned him down.
He knew it was Susie who loved him.
Is this him?
Ah! That was summer before he left. Well, Susie took that picture. She moved the camera because he made her giggle. I'm sorry.
Don't be. Mum and Dad loved each other. Dad was the love of her life. It doesn't matter who she loved before.
But she never got over him.
When Mum died, I went through all her stuff. You know what she was like. Boxes and boxes of it. Loads of her and Dad. But nothing like this. Nothing to say she even remembered him.
That was the worst sandwich I've ever had in my life. I hope you get better food in here. I did a massive batch of chilli last week and it's in the freezer. So when we get home, we're gonna have a big old chilli night, yeah?
Mind the, I can't believe someone would just leave that there.
Sorry, dropped it. My fault. Couldn't quite peel it.
So that might have been funny. I could have ended up in a room next door with a broken leg.
You don't want to end up in here. Well, you'd never get any sleep from my snoring, would you? You know, I was thinking about what you said about changing doctors. I think we could all do with a fresh start. You know, we should work what we've got and build from there.
Absolutely.
How about Heston? Dr. Carter.
What do you think?
I think Heston would be perfect.
Silly old fool.
Him or you?
How was the tea, Sergeant Hollins?
Oh, that was very nice. Thank you.
Good. Mrs. Land is here to help me with my inquiries.
Inquiries?
Just a few questions. Nothing to worry about.
Now, you said you have known Reverend Gordon Clement for a number of years.
Yeah, he was involved in a community project that I was involved with.
Just stick to the question, please.
No, I think this is important information.
I'm just trying to make sure we cover the basics.
You are right. Age?
Me?
No, the candidate.
Oh, middling.
Please try to be precise, Sergeant Hollins.
To be honest, I don't even know whether he would be interested in...
Age?
50?
Height?
Height?
We have a very high pulpit.
Oh, now this is true. Height?
Oh, no, 6 foot.
Very good. Marital status?
Yeah, I do know that. He's a widow, which is why I think he wants to move on.
Wants to move on.
The question is, Sergeant Hollins, knowing the candidate as well as you do, how would you describe his religious conviction?
He's a vicar.
Let me make this easy for you. Would you describe Gordon Clement as progressive, liberal, evangelical?
High church or low church?
Middling.
Most suitable.
It's Dr. Tyler.
You never did let me take that blood sample, so I thought I'd pop round, get it over and done with.
I'm not so old I'm stupid. She called you, didn't she?
Actually, I called her.
He was only trying to help.
Where is he? Is he hiding in the hallway? Are you there, Trevor? You can come out now. I won't hit you.
Oh, Annie, of course he's not in the hallway. I'm not going to pull that trick again, not after this morning. Do you really think I'd smuggle him into the house and risk a punch-up?
He's in the car outside.
I think we have covered everything.
You were very comprehensive, Mrs. Temby.
And you were very incisive, Mrs. Land.
Okay, that's great. Am I free to go?
Yes, that will be all. Thank you.
Wait, you must speak to Reverend Clement immediately.
With utmost urgency.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I will see what I can do.
Yeah, you must urge him to put his name forward. Our church is teetering on the brink. He is the only man who can save it from wreck and ruin.
Deep breath, Sonny.
Is she okay, Doc?
How are you feeling?
I'm absolutely fine. Just a bit dizzy is all.
Are you all right?
Yeah, right's right in a minute.
You daft old man, what are you doing here?
I came to see if you'd waited for me.
You took your time.
You didn't call.
She loved you, you know.
We can't help who we love.
No.
And you called me daft. We could have spent the last 50 years together.
I can't think of anything worse.
You'd have loved it.
I happen to have lived a very full and contented life. Thank you very much. How was Australia?
Exhilarating and full of beautiful women. None of them a patch on you, though.
you.
No trouble.
You're a bit of an old romantic, aren't you?
Well,
Just like my husband.
Thank you. Chris needs to see that you haven't given up.
Sure, there was a massive queue in the canteen, so I just got them out of the machine. I can't promise they're any good.
Chris?
Well, it's good. Should try it.
Oh, thank you.
Dad? And I'll peel it for you.
No, you're all right.
That's disgusting.
Ah, whatever. What's the wrong with dunking a banana in a bit of coffee?
No more nonsense. Just one day at a time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Where were you brought up? What, sex, you mean?
Well, not specifically, but that might crop up.
Oh, Heston, Sam and I don't have a sex life.
She's made the wrong choice. She's got the wrong man.
How can you possibly know that?
Emma said you were pretty depressed.
No, I'm not depressed. I'm just frustrated.
Coming up tonight on BBC1, Max is